Hello and welcome to Namaste Thunder Bay. My name's Kelly Rooney and I'm going to guide you through a 25-minute yoga practice. We are in the beautiful studio at Body Mind Center, which overlooks our lovely Lake Superior, and it's so great to have that connection indoor-outdoor to help you find that connection to nature. One of the beautiful things about yoga, and meditation for that matter, is what it does for your mind and connecting you to everything else. And I find this really interesting that when they studied the human brain and they were looking at what ignites and what fires when you're doing yoga and meditation, they noticed a few things, but there were no revelations. But recently there was a study done to look at what part of the brain stops firing when you're doing yoga and meditation. And very interestingly, the part of your brain that identifies you as an individual stops igniting when you're doing yoga and meditation. And what that does is you stop thinking about me as an individual disconnected from everything around me. Those lines become blurred and you actually start to feel connected between your body, your mind, your breath, your community, your nature. Everything is one and you start to feel that. And we're going to take that into our practice today, and we're going to allow ourselves to come into our body and then begin to flow. So today's yoga practice will have us flowing from one movement into the next, and I will guide you all along the way. So if you're coming into yoga with me, feel free to grab a mat, a blanket, a towel, find yourself a comfortable seat. You want to make sure that your knees are down lower than your hips. So if you need to prop up a cushion underneath your hips, you want to get comfortable. If that doesn't work for you to have bent legs, legs can be straight out. All you need is a tall spine, room to breathe. Start taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. And again, full deep in breath. Let it all out. We're going to do one more cleansing breath. When you breathe in, draw all the air in and take a slight pause at the top of the breath. And when you breathe out, let it out with a let it all out. So breathe in, slight pause, allow yourself to breathe naturally, possibly closing your eyes, taking away any visual distraction. Focusing on the sound of your own breath. Nice smooth inhale. Slight pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale, letting all the air out. In this moment of quiet, it's a really good time to set your intention for your time on the mat today. When we set an intention in our yoga practice, it's a way for us to keep an anchor, something to come back to, something to learn from. If your intention might be something that bubbles up in your mind and it's there and you know what you want to work toward, or it might be something that you're struggling with in day-to-day life if you've been finding yourself impatient or distracted. You might find that your intention is to stay focused or to be kind to yourself during your practice. So listen to what's inside, listen to what comes up, and set an intention for your time on the mat. If your eyes are still closed, you might want to let them gently open up. We're going to begin to move our body. So today we're going to start in child's pose. And as you come into child's pose, you're on your hands and knees. You can do this two different ways, and I encourage you to try both so you can see what feels good in your body. You might want to sink your hips back towards your heels and then lie your torso over top of your legs, stretching your arms out in front of you, tented fingertips stretching out through the back, or wrapping the arms around the body so your hands come back towards your feet. Arms are along the sides of your legs. That's one option. Or you might keep your big toes together, take your knees out toward the side of your mat, and then sink your torso down in between your legs, bringing your chest down toward the floor. You might want to rest your head on the mat, or you might want to make a little pillow out of your hands and rest your forehead there. Really explore what feels good to you. And once you've found your child's pose, just come back to your breath, breathing in long, smooth inhale. Slight pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale, let all the air out before you take your next breath in. You're working at sinking your hips back toward your heels, letting your chest come down toward the mat or over top of your thighs. Begin to press back up toward hands and knees. You want to plant your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, finding your tabletop. From here, we can explore the cat-cow breath. With our cat-cow breath, we want to inhale and arch the back, bringing the belly button in toward the spine. Look down to the belly button. Exhale, scooping the back out, bringing the chest forward and the head up. Inhale up to cat. Exhale out to cow. Following the rhythm of your breath, inhaling up to cat, exhaling out to cow. At the next exhale, come to a neutral back and check to make sure that your hands are underneath your shoulders. Knees are underneath your hips, back is flat. We're going to do the same breath, but we're going to change the rhythm. So this time, as you inhale, scoop the back out, bring the chest forward and the head up. Exhale, pressing up to cat. Really feel the stretch between the shoulder blades. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Following the rhythm of your breath. Coming to a neutral back after your next exhale. We're going to work out the feet a little bit. So coming up onto your toes, sink your hips back towards your heels, using the weight of your torso to put some pressure on the feet so that you can stretch out the bottom of the feet. For some people, this will be extremely tender and you may need to lift up and not put quite so much pressure on the feet. For other people, it might feel really good to even bounce into the movement a little bit to loosen up the muscles. Coming forward, we're going to place the hands on the mat. You want a nice firm grip on your mat. When we put pressure on our index knuckle, pressing it into the mat, gripping the fingers, we alleviate some of the tension on the wrists, which is great because we're going to be lifting up into downward dog. So once your hands are pressed into the mat, lift your hips up and back, and you can keep a bend in the knees if you need it, or lower one heel down at a time. Just start loosening up the body. You want to visualize the tailbone lifting up and the heart sinking down. And if you need a bend in the knees, it's okay, just feel the bend, but lift the tailbone up and sink the heart down. Hands are firmly gripping the mat. From here, we're going to try a wave-like motion into a plank position, which is your push-up beginning position. So wave through the body, coming to your plank. You want to find a nice strong plank so that you've got a straight back, shoulders over top of the wrists. We're going to lower down through chaturanga. Chaturanga is a pose in and of itself, and it is right here where the arms are at 90 degrees. Now, when you want to lower down from your plank, if you need to, you can drop your knees down. We want to make sure that we're really coming down slowly with those elbows close to the body, all the way down to the mat. Keeping your hands where they are, you should find your hands right underneath your shoulders. We're going to lift up from the chest, bringing the shoulders up, bringing the elbows back so that the shoulders are down the back into our cobra. Breathe in, coming up. And as you exhale, lower down. Breathe in, up. Exhale, lower down. You can rest a cheek on the side. Breathe in, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Breathe in, coming up. And exhale down one last time. From here, you can press up and back to tabletop. Naturally aligning the knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, curl the toes under at the back, press the hips up and back for downward dog. We're going to begin to walk the feet toward the hands, moving slowly and mindfully. And when your feet are near your hands, you can take your hands to either elbow and use the weight of the arms to help pull you forward gently, rocking or bouncing side to side. See if you can release any tension from your head or your neck. Relax your face and your jaw. Drop your hands down to become a rag doll and really let go of any last bit of tension. Put a deep bend in the knees so that you can rest your torso over top of your thighs, and you should feel a nice release in the lower back. And then we're going to begin to draw ourselves up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Coming up to standing on your mat. From here, inhale your hands up overhead. Interlace your fingers together except for your index fingers, which are pointing straight up toward the ceiling. Breathe in to lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, take the hands over to the left, letting the hip go out to the right for a nice side stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, letting the hands go to the right and the left hip out to the side. Inhale up. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, bring the arms down in time with your exhale. You should find yourself standing near the top of your mat. I'm a little too close to the front for myself, so I'm going to step back slightly. We're going to do a few rounds of our sun salutations. Our sun salutations are a greeting to the sun. And the greeting might be hello, it might be goodbye. So it's either waking up in the morning, a good stretch, and loosening the body, becoming into that meditative state at the same time. And at the end of the day, making sure that we've taken any of those aches or pains or tension and we've worked them out to allow ourselves to unwind and relax. So Starting off with our hands at our sides, we're going to breathe in and bring the hands up overhead, looking up to the hands. Exhale, swan diving forward so that the heart is leading down first, coming all the way down. You can keep a bend in the knees if you need to. We're going to inhale, coming halfway up to a flat back. And exhale, plant your hands down and step your feet back to plank. From your plank, if you need to lower your knees down, please go ahead. Important thing is lowering down slowly through chaturanga, keeping the elbows close to the body. Inhale, bring the chest and shoulders up for cobra. Arms are back, shoulder blades are down the back. Press up and back to downward dog. Hop or walk your feet toward your hands. And inhale, halfway up to a flat back. And exhale, folding forward. Coming up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Arms come all the way overhead. Sink the hands down to heart center. Take a full breath in. Let it all out. Lower the hands down to the sides. We're going to switch to a different version of your sun salutation. This time, just make sure the feet are about hip width apart. And as you inhale, sink your hips back into a chair that's slightly too far away. Bring the arms up so that the biceps are close to the ears. The palms of the hands are facing one another. Chest is up nice and high. Weight is leaning back. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, coming halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, coming down to plank. In your plank, take an extra breath in. Lower down slowly through chaturanga. Inhale, up for cobra. Exhale, up and back to downward dog. Make sure your hands are firmly planted in your downward dog. And inhale the left foot up into the air for three-legged dog. And bring it forward and plant it close to your hands. You can pick it up and shuffle it forward if you need to. The right toes are going to turn out slightly to the side. Hips are squared forward. Arms come overhead, biceps by the ears. Palms facing one another. Deep breath in. Exhale, coming forward. Plant the hands down and step the foot back to plank. Take a breath in. Lower down slowly through chaturanga. Inhale up for cobra. Exhale up and back to downward dog. Again, check in, make sure that the hands are firmly planted, and inhale the right foot up into the air. Bring it forward and plant it close to the hands. Left toes turn out slightly. Again, a reminder that the knee is over top of the ankle. Hips are squared forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, coming forward. Plant the hands down and step the foot back to plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, coming down. Inhale up for cobra. Exhale up and back to downward dog. You can hop or walk your feet toward your hands. And you can breathe in, coming halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, folding forward. As you inhale, sink your hips back into a chair that's slightly too far away. Bring the chest up, hands up overhead, biceps by the ears. Bring the hands together. Sink the hands to heart center as you straighten the legs, coming up to Anjali Mudra in Tadasana. Deep breath in. Let it all out. The Sanskrit terms that I was using, Anjali Mudra, is your hand position, which is prayer. Your Tadasana is your standing position, which means mountain. Lower your hands down to your sides. Inhale the arms up overhead, looking up to the hands. Exhale, swan diving forward. Coming up to a flat back, breathe in. Exhale, step the feet back, plant the hands down, coming into your plank. From your plank position, draw your hips up and back for downward dog. Inhale the left foot up into the air for three-legged dog and bring it forward to the hands. Shuffle it forward if you need to. We're going to draw the torso up into our crescent lunge. You can bring the hands up overhead. Your knee is over top of your foot. Biceps are by the ears. Nice deep breath. Bring your right hand down toward the mat. Lower the right knee down. Relax the right foot. Draw the hand up, the left hand up toward the ceiling. Take your gaze up toward the ceiling in your low lunge. Lowering the left hand down to the mat, curl your toes under on your right foot, bring the right knee off the mat, shift your weight up and back to downward dog. Inhale your right foot up into the air for three-legged dog. Bring it forward. Draw it close to your hands. Bring your torso up into your crescent lunge. Arms overhead, finding your balance. Deep breath in. Bring your left hand down to the mat. Let the left knee come down. Relax the left foot. Twist and bring your right arm up into the air, taking your gaze up toward the ceiling. Lowering the right hand down. Curl the toes under on the left foot. Bring the knee up off the mat. Press the weight into the hands as you shift the hips up and back for downward dog. Hop or walk your feet towards your hands. Breathe in, coming halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, coming all the way forward, relaxing. Coming up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Finding yourself standing near the top of your mat with your feet about hip width apart. Bring your hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Take a full breath in. Let it all out. Breathe in and stretch your hands together, palms touching all the way overhead into a deep back bend. Exhale, bringing the hands down in front of the body, all the way into your forward fold. Breathe in, coming halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, stepping your left foot back, and then stepping your right foot back into downward dog. Wave through your body into your plank pose, and lower it down through chaturanga. And lift up for cobra. Exhale, pressing up and back for downward dog. We're going to take 2 or 3 deep breaths in our downward dog. So again, visualize your belly button pulling in toward your spine. Tailbone lifting up toward the ceiling. Heart sinking down toward the mat. Inhale your right foot up into the air for three-legged dog and bring it forward toward your hands. And then step your left foot next to your right. Breathe in, coming halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Bring the palms of the hands together as you slowly come up. Bring the hands through heart center. Extend beyond for a back bend. Settle the hands down to heart center. Take a full breath in. Let it all out. Allow the hands to come down by your sides. And inhale the hands up overhead. Exhale, swan diving forward. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, coming down to plank. From your plank, bring your hips up and back for downward dog. We're going to inhale the left foot up into the air for three-legged dog, and this time as you bring it forward, instead of placing the foot down, bring the foot out toward the right side and drape the leg across the mat. Then guiding the right leg back, we're coming into our pigeon pose. We want our hips squared forward, so if you need to put a block or a cushion underneath your left hip, that's a good place to start. And you might want to stay upright with the tented fingertips holding you up, or you might like to try coming down onto your forearms, or coming all the way down, bringing the weight of your torso over top of that left leg. Taking a few deep breaths here. If you're all the way down in a resting pigeon, you'll want to bring yourself back up onto your hands. Curl the toes under at the back. Coming up out of the pose, we're pressing up and back to downward dog. Inhale the right foot up into the air for three-legged dog. Bring it forward, drape the leg across the mat, guiding the left leg back into your pigeon pose. Making sure the hips are squared forward. You can stay up on the tented fingertips or come down into the variations of pigeon. Taking a nice breath in, letting it all out. Coming back up onto your fingertips. Plant your hands nice and firmly, curl the toes under and lift the knee up off the mat, pressing the weight into your hands, push up and back to downward dog. From your downward dog, lower your knees down to the mat, take your big toes together and sink your hips back towards your heels. You'll find yourself in your child's pose now, and this is where we're going to wrap up our practice today. You can stay breathing in your child's pose as part of your Shavasana, which is it's not a specific Shavasana pose, but staying in your child's pose can allow you to focus on your breath, relax your body, and focus your mind. I hope you enjoyed that 25-minute flow. Namaste, Thunder Bay.